All right, thanks so much for joining us once again on The Bright Side. I want to continue talking about the universal antioxidant, the king of antioxidants, alpha-lipoic acid. This stuff is so important, yet how many people can say they've heard about alpha-lipoic acid, they use alpha-lipoic acid, or they know what alpha-lipoic acid is? Last we spoke, we told you about the medical use of ALA in intravenous fashion on the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center website. There's an article that discusses the use of IV alpha-lipoic acid to treat peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy is a generic term that describes nerve damage to the outside nerves, the periphery nerves. The nervous system is this communication network that transmits information from our brain and spinal cord to every single part of the body. Peripheral neuropathy simply means a broken down nervous system, really. And there's many different disease states that incorporate a broken down nervous system. Bell's palsy, multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's kind of a generic term. 20 million Americans are dealing with some kind of peripheral neuropathy breakdown. If you're a diabetic, the odds are 6 out of 10 that you're going to be dealing with a breakdown in nerves, a peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy simply means painful nerves, broken down nerves in the extremities or the periphery of the body. And if this is something that you are dealing with, whether you have diabetes or not, if you're dealing with neuropathy, you'd be wise to consider using a couple hundred milligrams or more of alpha-lipoic acid on a daily basis, or even finding a naturopath or a medical doctor who can treat you with intravenous alpha-lipoic acid. I love this idea of intravenous nutrients, especially if you're dealing with some kind of emergency disease state like cancer, for example. IV glutathione, IV magnesium, IV alpha-lipoic acid. All of these intravenous modalities allow you to bypass the digestive system. And so many times when we're dealing with chronic disease, such as cancer, we're also dealing with a breakdown in the digestive system. So you may try to take supplements in an oral fashion, but you may not be absorbing those supplements. Think about intravenous nutrition. And if your doctor is not a believer, find a doctor who is. Find a naturopath who is. Find a DO who is a believer in intravenous nutrition, especially intravenous alpha-lipoic acid. According to Beth Lay, in her pamphlet on alpha-lipoic acid, ALA can not only improve various markers of nerve health associated with diabetic peripheral neuropathy, but in the case of nerve damage, permanent or so-called permanent nerve damage, ALA can actually reverse the damage. In addition to reversing damage to the eyes and to the heart. A lot of diabetics are dealing with problems with their eyes, cataracts and glaucoma. Intravenous alpha-lipoic acid may be beneficial for that too. ALA can also improve eye health in other ways. The eye is very sensitive to oxidation and macular degeneration. Cataracts too can be the result of long-term breakdown. And alpha-lipoic acid in an intravenous fashion or in an oral fashion may be helpful in this regard. Glycation from poor sugar control can also contribute to these kinds of eye disease. Glycation is a caramelization or a sugaring of the tiny little blood vessels that exist in the eye and throughout the body. Glycation from poor sugar control can contribute to macular degeneration and eye problems in general. And alpha-lipoic acid, because of its blood sugar control benefits, can provide important eye health benefits, even if you're not dealing with diabetes. And speaking of diabetes, some of alpha-lipoic acid's most impressive benefits involve blood sugar control. If I was a diabetic, I would be using alpha-lipoic acid on a daily basis, 300 to 400 to 500 milligrams a day. Alpha-lipoic acid potentizes insulin. It makes your insulin stronger, so you don't have to pump out as much insulin. Alpha-lipoic acid improves glucose transport, sugar transport into a cell. It reduces the sugaring effect, the glycation effect, the caramelization effect. Glycation is responsible for a lot of the unpleasant things that diabetics have to deal with, including amputations and including blindness. If you're a diabetic, you've probably had a hemoglobin 1AC test done. The hemoglobin 1AC test is a diagnostic tool that doctors will use to see how fast your body is glycating, specifically how fast your hemoglobin, which is an important protein that's found in the blood, how fast your hemoglobin is glycating. A high hemoglobin 1AC score is an indicator that your blood sugar is getting out of control. Proteins are beginning to sugar or caramelize or candy, which is basically what glycation is about. Sugar is very, very gooey and sticky stuff, as any chef who's worked with sugar can tell you. Think pancake syrup or caramel sticking to your teeth. The same stickiness can affect cells. The same sticky feeling that you get on your teeth when you eat a caramel apple or a candy apple, that same stickiness can affect cells, literally gumming up membranes, ultimately causing cells to break down and ultimately causing cells to die. Sugar is also explosive. It's high energy stuff, and this sticky, high energy nature can create lots of problems in terms of cell chemistry. It can literally disfigure cell membranes. That's what's happening at the cell level when you're dealing with diabetes, when you're dealing with blood sugar that's raging out of control, when you're dealing with glycation. You're really dealing with a sticky, burnt, defective cell membrane. And once this happens, the immune system becomes involved, inflammation becomes involved, and all manners of tissue breakdown and disease can follow when this sugar, caramelizing, sticky, glycation, explosive effect of sugar starts to affect your small blood vessels in your eyes. Vision can be affected. And this is what causes diabetes to be one of the leading causes, probably the leading cause of blindness in this country. When it affects the lower extremities, the toes or the feet or the fingers or the hands, those areas can get robbed of oxygen and nutrients, ultimately killing muscle and bone tissue, necessitating amputation. And diabetes is also a leading cause of amputation. And now you know why. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We're coming back right after this. Our number 866-582-9933. All right, continuing on with alpha lipoic acid. One of the neatest things about ALA, alpha lipoic acid, is its ability to support the regeneration of other antioxidants. Other antioxidants, or all antioxidants, when they do their work, they kind of lose their strength. It's sort of like Samson getting his hair cut off. Once an antioxidant does its work, it's gone unless it's regenerated. And one of the most important things about alpha lipoic acid, it's like a recharger for vitamin C. It's like a recharger for vitamin E. It's like a recharger for glutathione. It helps recharge and regenerate other antioxidants. So not only does it do its own antioxidant work, but it helps other antioxidants do their work of neutralizing and quenching free radical elements. So antioxidants lose their charge after they do their work. And as it turns out, in addition to being an antioxidant on its own, alpha lipoic acid can act as a recharger, a regenerator, reactivating vitamin C and vitamin E and other antioxidants, coenzyme Q10. In other words, alpha lipoic acid can help increase the functional levels of your other antioxidants. And this makes ALA a very, very important and valuable nutritional supplement. One of the best places to use alpha lipoic acid is on top of your skin. This whole idea of using nutrients on top of the skin is a very, very important skincare strategy. It's how I started my skincare company, by creating products that took advantage of nutritional supplements on top of the skin. Vitamin C on top of the skin, vitamin E on top of the skin, N-acetylcysteine on top of the skin, and alpha lipoic acid on top of the skin. Its antioxidant properties may be helpful for sun protection in the same fashion that we talked about when we talked about using NAC on top of the skin. You can break open an alpha lipoic acid capsule and put it in your favorite face cream or sun protection product. But also, like NAC, you're going to want to make sure that you use it fresh. Alpha lipoic acid will break down pretty quickly. It'll destroy your cream or lotion if you leave it in there, and it has an element of sulfur in it, and sulfur is stinky. So when that alpha lipoic breaks down in your cream, it's going to give off a particularly nasty sulfur smell. So you want to make sure that you're using your products fresh. If you decide you want to break open a capsule of alpha lipoic acid, put it in your favorite cream, maybe just put some cream in your hand, a dose of your favorite lotion or cream in your hand, and sprinkle some alpha lipoic acid in that one-time dose. That might be the best way to apply ALA to your skin. And Dr. Nicholas Perricone has become somewhat of an ALA expert on the skin anyway. Dr. Perricone says that you can use alpha-lipoic acid to improve skin radiance, to reduce pore size, and although whether or not he's correct is up for debate, he is selling some pretty expensive alpha-lipoic acid-containing products. The fact remains that alpha-lipoic acid's antioxidant properties probably will provide you with at least some anti-aging and health benefits for the skin as long as you're using it fresh. This whole idea of using nutrients on top of the skin for anti-aging is very important to understand, and for photoprotection too. You don't hear a lot about it in the world of skincare, which in my opinion is somewhat unfortunate because it means many people are going to be relying on sunscreen chemicals to protect themselves from solar rays. We've talked in the past about using vitamin C for sun protection, vitamin C on top of the skin. Vitamin E is also important. NAC is also important. All of these will provide you with topical antioxidant benefits, and as it turns out, alpha-lipoic acid may be able to do the same thing. Although, in the interest of full disclosure, it should be mentioned that there was one study that was published in 2004 in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology that found that topical alpha-lipoic acid did not provide appreciable sun protection benefits, but in my opinion, given the antioxidant nature of the alpha-lipoic acid molecule, it still might be something that you want to consider. Certainly it's not going to hurt you. And the internal benefits of using alpha-lipoic acid, taking it as a nutritional supplement for overall antioxidant properties and sun protection properties and eye health benefits and anti-diabetes or anti-blood sugar benefits is not debatable. The benefits of taking ALA internally are well documented, and whether or not ALA can be used topically in this fashion is just something you're going to have to consider for yourself. So to sum up, alpha-lipoic acid can be protective against the sun. It can be protective against nuclear and heavy metals. It can be protective against liver toxicity. It can reverse diabetic neuropathy. It's important for diabetes. By the way, Russian scientists used alpha-lipoic acid as a major treatment for radiation toxicity after the Chernobyl explosion in 1986, and there's a lot of good literature that supports its use as a protective supplement for radiation. A lot of research that came out of the use of alpha-lipoic acid after the Chernobyl disaster. Alpha-lipoic acid helps regenerate other antioxidants. It can help lower your cholesterol. It's important for blood fats. It's especially important for the liver. It's especially important for heart cells. It's a supplement that could be a diabetic's best nutritional supplement friend, especially for protecting you from blindness and eye problems and nerve problems and amputation. Alpha-lipoic acid is a key asset in glutathione building, and it can be protective against all manners of liver disease, including cirrhosis, including fatty liver disease. If you like wine or you like booze, it can be protective against alcohol toxicity too. Long story short, alpha-lipoic acid is powerful medicine. It's powerful medicine on numerous cellular and biochemical fronts, and for less than $30 a month, or $30 for a 2-month supply, it's a tremendous nutritional value. There's a lot of good stuff. That's a ton of good stuff, actually, for one nutrient, and it's why alpha-lipoic acid is one of the most functional, versatile, and important nutritional supplements you could ever use. All right, 866-582-9933 is our number. We're going to take a break and come back right after this. Don't go away. Welcome back to The Bright Side. Pharmacist Ben here. Our number today is 866-582-9933. Got one line open for you. We'll get your phone calls in just a minute. Reading from the journal Diabetes. Caloric restriction restores glucose response in diabetes. A study was published in the July 30th edition of the journal Diabetes that found that short-term caloric restriction, that means not eating, folks, or eating less anyway, normalizes the brain's response to glucose, to sugar, that is in patients with type 2 diabetes, once again demonstrating how effective caloric restriction, eating less, can be, whether or not you're a diabetic. And by the time most of us get to be in our 40s or 50s, we are starting, if we're normal, or we're subsisting on the standard American diet, we are starting to manifest some of the signs of blood sugar problems, of problems with insulin. And all of us can probably benefit from caloric restriction. Every study that's ever been done on longevity shows that caloric restriction means a longer life. And this is just another study, another article that shows that eating less is in your interest, most especially if you're dealing with blood sugar control issues. Of course, using alpha lipoic acid and using the B complex and using chromium, vanadium, and other nutritional supplements can help. But in my opinion, there is nothing more beneficial for helping stabilize blood sugar, for keeping blood sugar under control, for making your insulin more potent, making your insulin stronger, than simply eating less. The fancy term for eating less, caloric restriction. You can check this out. You can check this out in the journal Diabetes, which came out on July 30th, a couple weeks ago. All right, tomorrow on the Bright Side, or our next Bright Side program, I'm going to tell you about a mineral that is very important for building glutathione. Remember, we're still talking here about the peptide glutathione in Chapter 1 of our Handbook of Good Nutrition. And on our next Bright Side program, I'm going to tell you about a very important mineral that can help you build glutathione. We talked about sulfur a couple of days ago, and sulfur is also an important mineral for the detox system. This is a mineral that can be considered sulfur's sister. Sulfur's sister mineral. It's named after the Greek goddess of the moon, and I will tell you what this mineral is and why you want to be supplementing with it on our next Bright Side program. You're going to want to tune into that. Our number 866-582-9933 if you want to learn more about the Youngevity products, or if you want to help me in my mission to educate the world about the importance of nutritional supplementation. If you're a believer in nutritional supplementation and you want to help others understand, if you want to get your Youngevity products wholesale or start a Youngevity business, click on the Join Now link on the upper left-hand corner of the page at brightsideben.com. Okay, 866-582-9933. Time for our first phone call of the day. Candy in West Virginia, the appropriately named Candy in West Virginia. What's going on?
Yes, my husband is trying to quit smoking, and he currently has a prescription for Wellbutrin. Now, I was if there's something that he could take naturally instead of Wellbutrin to help him quit smoking. Well,
Wellbutrin doesn't have any magic properties to help you quit smoking, although they do use it for helping get people off of a lot of addictions. Wellbutrin is basically an antidepressant. It's got anti-anxiety properties, and that's how it's used to help people stop smoking. So anything he does, any kind of nutritional supplements he takes, or any kind of lifestyle strategies that he incorporates that will help him relax a little bit, will duplicate the Wellbutrin without the drug toxicity. So there's a couple things that you could do for that. You understand what I'm saying here, Candy? We want to keep him relaxed so that he doesn't have that jitteriness and that anxiety that's associated with withdrawing from tobacco or anything else, really. One of the problems with withdrawal symptoms is that kind of anxious feeling where you feel like only whatever it is that you're addicted to can relieve that anxiety. That's why they use Wellbutrin. Does that make sense, first of all, Candy?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so there's a couple nutrients that you can use to help relax, to help him relax. One of my favorite is lithium orotate, and that second word is spelled O-R-O-T-A-T-E, lithium orotate. It's like the lithium that they'll give you for bipolar disorder on a prescription, except you don't need a prescription for it. And for anybody who's dealing with bipolar issues or brain issues, anxiety issues, depression issues, problems sleeping, if you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes, lithium orotate might be something to think about. The neurotransmitter-like substance, the brain chemical-like substance GABA, which we've talked about in the past, GABA, that might also be helpful. And one of my favorite anxiolytics, which is the technical name for anti-anxiety drugs or anti-anxiety substances, one of my favorites is something called 5-HTP, and that is a precursor to the brain's most important relaxing chemical, serotonin. So using 5-HTP can be helpful. You might want to take your 5-HTP before you go to sleep because it's so relaxing. A couple hundred milligrams of 5-HTP might be something to think about. See what else. Inositol, that's another nice relaxing nutrient. Something called theanine, Theanine, theanine. That can also have some nice relaxing benefits. And then interestingly enough, the B vitamin niacin is similar to nicotine. B vitamin niacin, also known as niacinamide, is very similar to nicotine. And so using the B vitamins, and most especially nicotine or niacin, might have some relaxing effects. Nicotinic acid, not nicotine. Nicotine is the stuff in cigarettes and tobacco that is similar to vitamin B3. But using vitamin B3 might be a nice way to wean yourself off of the nicotine, off the cigarettes. Also, niacin and vitamin B3 have been used to treat social anxiety disorder. I think it's called social anxiety disorder, Asperger's syndrome. and high doses of niacin, around 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day. Whenever you're taking high doses of vitamin B3, you want to make sure you do it in a time-release fashion, because taking too much niacin all at once can cause the niacin flush, which is a weird kind of feeling where your body tingles and gets hot, and it can be somewhat unpleasant. So if you're going to do a high dose of niacin, make sure it's in a time-release fashion. So you got GABA, you got theanine, you got lithium orotate, inositol, 5-HTP, niacin. These are all great ways to kind of take the edge off of the withdrawal symptoms that can make you feel a little bit jittery and make quitting smoking so difficult. That would be my strategy. And that's something that you might want to consider. You know what? Let me know how that works, if you don't mind, Candy. If you get a moment, I'd like to hear how your husband's doing, and if he incorporates these strategies, how they work for him, okay?
Thank you so much, Ben. You have a blessed day.
Thank you. You as well, Candy. God bless. Okay, moving on. Let's go to California and talk to Brandy. Our number 866-582-9933. Got a line open for you. Brandy, what's going on?
You know, Ben, I was just wondering, I just got the tangerine drink, and I'm wondering if there are certain vitamins I'm taking that I shouldn't take.
You mean extra vitamins that you're taking?
Right, because
No, you don't have to worry about that. The BTT is designed to give you nutrients throughout the day in a slow, kind of a slow drip fashion. That's why I always say you want to sip on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. But if you're already taking a multiple vitamin, you don't have to worry about getting too much nutrients, because the BTT only has super high doses of the water-soluble nutrients, the ones that you're going to flush out. All the other nutrients are in there at small amounts. So the BTT, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, is not designed to replace a multiple vitamin. You still need to have a good multiple vitamin. The purpose of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is to kind of replace nutrients that you're losing throughout the day. So you can continue taking your supplements. You can continue taking your multiple vitamin. The BTT isn't going to be a problem. Just for curiosity's sake, Brandy, what are you taking? What other supplements are you taking?
With vitamin B, E, K, calcium.
You're taking those in addition to the BTT?
Yes.
Stay on them. I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. All right, 866-582-9933 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You are listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We're coming back right after this. Don't go away. Let's see, got a letter from Tom here. Looks like Tom is in the UK. He says he admitted to the hospital on April 10th, 2012. They removed, when he woke up in the hospital, they removed 1.5 meters of gangrenous bowel caused by blood clots. Bummer. On 13th of May, he underwent another operation to remove more of his bowel. Since then, he's been fed TPN. Another bummer. TPN is parenteral nutrition, intravenous nutrition, and it's not really nutrition. It's the bare bones basics that they give you when you're in the hospital. Most things that he eats by mouth just brew for a day or two, and then he vomits liters at a time. This is not a good thing. Tom, what you want to be focusing on, my friend, is liquid nutrition. I wouldn't be eating any solid food, at least till your digestive system recovers. Soups, juices, anytime you have a digestive condition, folks, I'm talking irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, gastritis, pancreatitis, whatever, celiac disease, Crohn's disease. Anytime you're dealing with some kind of digestive crisis, certainly if you've gone to the hospital and they've removed part of your intestines, you want to be focusing on liquid nutrition. The less solid food you eat, the better off you're going to be. Now, caloric restriction itself, and that's fasting basically, that could be helpful, but if you don't want to fast, at least give your digestive system a break by using liquid nutrients. This is why the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is such a helpful product. It's liquid nutrients. It does not require digestive juices. It does not require digestive enzymes. The body absorbs these nutrients rapidly. In pharmacy school, they always tell us that the best way, next to suppositories and next to intravenous, to get stuff into your body is to drink it. And the same can be said about nutritional supplements. So if you have any kind of digestive issue, and certainly if you've just left the hospital with less bowel than you came in with, less intestine than you went in with, then you want to be using soups and juices. Get yourself a Vitamix, Tom. I don't know if they have Vitamixes in the UK. But if they don't, find yourself a high-power blender that can grind up the fiber part of vegetables and fruits to a certain extent and turn it into juice. use soups, vegetable soups, and by all means get yourself on bone soup. One other thing that I don't talk a lot about, and I am remiss when it comes to digestive wellness, is a substance called hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is one of the body's most important chemicals. It's made in your skin. It's part of your joints. It's a wonderful nutritional supplement for healing the digestive tract. Hyaluronic acid is broken down into two components, and one of those components goes by the nickname NAG, which stands for N-acetylglucosamine. You just remember NAG. NAG is a component of the hyaluronic acid molecule. When you're taking your HA, your hyaluronic acid capsules, your body will break it down and form some NAG, and that can be very soothing for the digestive tract. You'll also get NAG in aloe juice or noni juice, and of course bone soup is a great source of NAG. And another thing that can be good for helping soothe the digestive tract, and this is another thing we don't talk about a lot, at least in terms of the digestive system, is the longevity product, the glucogel caps. The glucogel caps are most known. Most people are taking the NAG for arthritis or for joint problems, but you can also use it for digestive health benefits as well. All right, hope we helped you out there, Tom. Thanks so much for your letter. Moving on, let's see. Steve in Virginia, what's going on?
Good morning. Nice to talk with you again. I had some notes that from a previous show, and I was looking them over. It was for a friend with the hypothyroid situation, and I wanted to verify about the Iodoral. I think there was. I think you'd mentioned it, and I was reviewing the notes, and we found that it was at the main. Well, you'd mentioned B vitamins and a few things. I guess we were trying to check again on the this particular supplement.
Iodoral?
Yeah. Okay, is that accurate? That sounds...
Yes. Iodoral is a form of iodine that's very usable by the body. It comes in 50 milligram tablets, I believe. And 50 milligrams is a bit of a high dose. 25 milligrams, it comes in 50 milligram tablets. I think it's also available as 25 milligram tablets as well. I'd be taking 12.5 milligrams of iodine a day. That's a good place to be, or 12.5 milligrams of Iodoral a day. Iodoral is actually a blend of two different types of iodine. So a 12.5 milligram tablet of Iodoral will have 5 milligrams of iodine and 7.5 milligrams of iodide for a total of 12.5 milligrams, and that's pretty much a nice standard dose. Dr. David Brownstein, who's considered the go-to expert on all things iodine, he's got a couple great books on iodine if you're interested in, and he's also got a good newsletter too. And I know Dr. Brownstein. I've actually went to a seminar with him, and he's got some really good information about iodine. He recommends 12.5 milligrams a day to start. You can take 25 milligrams of iodine. Doctors hate people to take that much iodine. Doctors feel like all you need is the RDA. I don't necessarily want to go there. Here's the thing, though, Steve. You don't want to be using iodine or Iodoral as a treatment for taking care of the thyroid. Iodine, as it turns out, is not just important for the thyroid. It's important for all the glands of the body. It's important for adrenal health. It's important for pancreatic health. And it's especially important for protecting the body from excess estrogen. If you're dealing with any estrogen issues, fibroids, cysts, PMS, if you're perimenopausal, if you have any kind of estrogen issues, you definitely want to be taking iodine. It's super important for protecting the breast from breast cancer. There's actually a breast cancer protecting supplement called DIM that also can be helpful, or I3C, that's another one that could be helpful. But I would certainly be taking iodine if I was dealing with any kind of estrogen issues. Everybody should be taking a little bit of iodine. If you have a thyroid problem, iodine can be helpful, but I don't want anybody to get the idea, and the reason I have to reinforce this is because there's a lot of misinformation that says, oh, you have hypothyroidism, take iodine. It doesn't work that way. If you're dealing with hypothyroidism, you are dealing with the third point on our triangle of disease. And remember, the triangle of disease is the digestive system, which breaks down first, always. The blood sugar system, which breaks down second, always. And then the adrenal/thyroid system. I've lumped those two together because of their biochemical link. The adrenal thyroid system is the third point of disease. So if you're dealing with hypothyroidism, you're also dealing with adrenal issues, blood sugar issues, and digestive issues, and those are what you want to focus on. That having been said, there are great nutrients that you can take for the thyroid after you've taken care of after you've taken care of your digestive health and your blood sugar health, or at least started to take care of your digestive issues and blood sugar issues. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me that they're hypothyroid and they don't have digestive problems. It can't happen. First of all, because of this whole sequence in the triangle, but second of all, because the thyroid regulates the digestive system. The thyroid regulates everything, folks. Every single cell in the body is dependent on thyroid hormone. You cannot be hypothyroid and not have other things go wrong, especially the digestive tract. And by the way, thyroid hormone is activated partially at least by bacteria in the digestive system. So if you're dealing with bacterial issues, dysbiosis, if somebody's told you need probiotics and you're dealing with intestinal bacteria issues, you're going to have a problem activating your thyroid hormone. So this link between the digestive system and the thyroid is close, it's intimate, and you cannot address hypothyroidism simply by using nutritional supplements, simply by taking some kind of thyroid formula, some kind of thyroid magic potion. You gotta focus on number 1, digestive health, number 2, blood sugar health, then the adrenal thyroid system. Thanks so much for calling on that, Steve. Appreciate it. I hope we helped you out. And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you callers. I appreciate all our listeners. I appreciate all our letter writers very much. If you are dealing, folks, with any kind of chronic breakdown degenerative disease, if you're dealing with arthritis, if you're dealing with diabetes, if you're dealing with autoimmune disease, please understand that you are not condemned. They are all reversible. They're reversible using mental strategies and emotional strategies. They're reversible using digestive or dietary strategies, and they're most importantly reversible using nutritional supplementation. That's why we're here every day. I understand that the world of nutritional supplementation can be confusing. I understand that it can be overwhelming, and that's why we're here to help you understand how to use that, how to take advantage of nutritional supplementation, how to bypass this overwhelming and confusing nature, how to not be overwhelmed when you go into the health food store, when you go into the vitamin store and you look at all the crazy nutrients and crazy vitamins and crazy supplements that are out there. It's really a simple matter of what I'm calling the 8 chapters of good nutrition: protein, fats, carbohydrates, fiber, water, vitamins, minerals, and trace nutrients. And we're here every day on the bright side, 5 days a week, helping you understand that. You can also go to my website, brightsideben.com. Check out the 8 chapters of good nutrition video. We have articles up there as well. And of course, we have all the longevity products there too, and you'll find a Join Now link on the upper left-hand corner of the page at brightsideben.com if you want to make some money selling longevity products, or if you want to contribute to the mission of helping everybody on the planet understand how important a nutritional supplementation program can be. All right, that's all the time we have for today. On Monday, I'll tell you about this mineral that is sulfur sister mineral. Very important for helping build glutathione. It's got wonderful detoxing properties. It's a mineral that was named after the Greek goddess of the moon. I'll tell you what that is on our next Bright Side program. Stay tuned for Alex Jones next on most of these stations. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We will talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.